Creating and formatting notes. Since OneNote is a note-taking program, it just makes sense that learning to add text will be one of the most important things that you learn to do. In this lesson, we're going to show you how to add text and then format it with font attributes and styles. In most word processor programs, such as Microsoft Word, you can add text to a document by typing once the cursor appears. You start at the top of the page and work your way down. You can hit Enter to move down and type further down on the page if you want, but the cursor starts at the top. In addition, you can add text boxes if you want. Text boxes are just boxes that contain text. You can resize, drag, and drop these text boxes. Honestly, it gets quite complicated. The good news is that OneNote 2013 is nowhere near as complicated. The first thing you need to know about adding text to OneNote is that you can type anywhere on the page. Just click on the area where you want to type and start typing. It doesn't have to be at the top of the page, and you do not have to hit Enter to move further down. Just click and type, it's that easy. Now as you type, your text will be put into what's called a note container. A note container is sort of like a text box. With your text in a note container, it will make it easier to move around later if you want. That said, if you have OneNote open right now, you can just click anywhere on a page and start typing. Let's start typing on the page. On the screen here, you can see our notes inside a note container, this grey box. Once you type your text into the note container, you can format it. Formatting is adding a font type, such as Times New Roman or Arial, or adding bold or italics, changing the font size, as well as other font attributes. To format your text, first select it so that it's highlighted. You can click your mouse in the grey bar at the top of the note to select all the text within the container. Or you can use the cursor to select words or characters. Let's select all the text. You can also select all the text in a container by clicking the little arrow next to the container on the left here. This will bring up a toolbar that you can use to format text and perform other formats. Another way to format text is to click on the Home tab and go to the Basic Text section. The first thing you can do is change the font type. As you can see, the current font type is Calibri. By clicking the drop-down arrow to the right of the Calibri, you can see all the available font types. You can also see what the font looks like. In this example, I'll select Arial. You can see that the font type has changed. You can also change the size of the font by clicking on this box here and selecting a size. You can also highlight the text and change the size by typing in a number. Just like with other Office programs, you can change it to be bold, italics, or underline. You can also change the colour of the text highlight by selecting the text and clicking on this button here, which is the text highlight colour. There's a drop-down arrow which also lets you select the colour of the highlight. The next button along is the font colour. You can also select the arrow to choose what colour you want to change the text to. Next to the commands for bold, italics and underline are other commands such as strike through and subscript. Strike through puts a line through the text. So if I go and select one of the words, go back to the strike through option and select it, it'll put a line through the text. The next command is what's called subscript. It just makes the text smaller next to the original words. If I go back to the text and select another word, then go back to this formatting section and click on subscript, it will make it smaller. Other options available are superscript, which makes it smaller but above the letters. You can also align text. If you've used other word processing programs before, you know what it means to align text. You can align it in three ways: to the left margin, to the right margin, or centered between the two margins. To align text in OneNote 2013, select the text you wanted to align. Next, go to the Home tab and then go to the Basic Text group. Select the Align button shown here, click on the drop-down arrow and choose how you want it to align the text: left, center, or right. You can create lists of items in OneNote 2013. Maybe you'll list names of flowers or items you need at the grocery store. OneNote gives you the ability to create two different types of lists, bulleted or numbered. We'll teach you how to do both. To create a bulleted list, first click on the place in the page where you want to add a bulleted list. Go to the Home tab. In the Basic Text group, click on the bullets icon. You can click the downward arrow beside the bullets to choose what type of bullet you want to use. Now type the text that will appear beside your first bullet. Hit enter to type the next bullet. When you're finished, hit enter twice to end the bulleted list. 1, 2. To create a numbered list, begin like you did a bulleted list by clicking the place on the page where you want the numbered list to appear. Next, go to the Home tab and click on the numbered list inside the basic text group. Again, you can click the downward arrow to select how you want the numbers to appear, or you can just click on the numbered icon. Type the text on your page for the first numbered item. Hit enter to type in another item. Press enter twice to end the numbered list. You can also indent the text in your note containers. You can increase the distance of the text from the left margin or decrease it. If I type in some text, then I highlight this text, I can change the indentation. Click on the Home tab, then in the basic text group, click on Increase Indent Position. This will shift the text a little bit to the right. I can click this again to make it go further to the right, or click the button next to it, which is Decrease the Indent, to make it go back to where it was. A style is what you apply to text. Headings are an example of a style. You can use headings to create a table of contents in Microsoft Word. That being said, OneNote has very basic styles and not the broad variety that you find in other programs. However, that's to keep things simple. OneNote was intended to be simple. You find styles by clicking on the Home tab and going to the Styles group on the ribbon. You can see it here. To apply a style to a text, highlight the text, then click on the appropriate style that you want. You can also cut, copy and paste text from one page to another or from an outside source such as Internet Explorer into a page of a notebook. Remember, when you cut text, you remove it from its current location. When you copy text, you make a copy of it. After you cut a copy, you can then paste whatever you've cut and copied into your notebook. In this lesson, we're going to focus on copy and paste. To copy text, first select the text you want to copy. We're going to copy this line and paste it into our notebook. So let's select the text. After you've selected it, right-click the text and select Copy. Next, click at the place on the page where you want to paste the text. Now right-click and select Paste, or go to the Home tab and in the Clipboard group, select Paste. If I use the right-click option, you'll see these options in the menu. Let's see what each of these mean. The first one on the left is to keep the source formatting. This means if you copy something that's in Times New Roman size 12, when you paste it, it will remain in Times New Roman 12, even if the text or notes on the page you paste to are in Arial. The next option, the one with the little blue arrow, is to merge formatting. If what you copy is Times New Roman, but the text notes on the page that you want to paste to has the majority of text in Arial, whatever you paste will be pasted in Arial. In other words, it matches the majority. The third is text which pastes it without any formatting. The last one on the far right is to paste a picture. If you have a pen input device on a tablet PC or other compatible computer, you can also handwrite notes. To do that, click on the Draw tab and then select a pen from the Tools group. You can then handwrite notes anywhere on the page you want. If you want to switch back to typing, click the Select and Type on the Draw tab in the Tools group. If you handwrite something in your notes, it may be hard to read, or you might worry that others won't be able to read it. For that reason, you can use OneNote 2013 to translate your handwriting in OneNote to text. To do this, first add a handwritten note to your notebook. Click on the Draw tab, select a pen, and start writing. You can simply use your mouse if you don't have a touchscreen device. Once you've finished, go to the Ink to Text button under the Draw tab. It looks like this. First, you might need to select the text by clicking on the Type command, then drawing a box around the text. Let's go back to the drawer and ink to text. It's still disabled, which means it doesn't recognize any of my letters. If it doesn't find anything, right-click on the text and click on Treat Selected Ink As, then select Handwriting. If that doesn't work, you'll have to enter it manually. You can also use OneNote 2013 as a calculator. Let's say you're typing notes onto a page about your finances. You want to figure out what your monthly payment is going to be on a car. Instead of pulling out a calculator or opening the calculator on your computer, just type the equation into OneNote. And then press Enter. The answer will appear. Remember, use a slash for division, a star for multiplication, a plus for addition, and a dash for subtraction. In OneNote 2013, there is a handwriting tool that lets you write the equations that you want to insert into a page just as easily as you inserted handwritten notes. To access this tool, go to Draw, and then click on Ink to Math in the Convert group. You'll then see the Insert Ink Equation dialog box. Write the equation using your mouse. Use the eraser and the Select and Correct button to remove things that have been written incorrectly. It may take several tries until OneNote recognizes the correct number you're trying to write. Click the Insert button to insert it into your page. This comes in handy when you want to write an equation with a lot of symbols that you may not see in your keyboard. It can be quicker to use this tool than to search for them in character map.